So this is the intro to the Op Art 3D shapes. You are going to apply your new knowledge of Op Art and some of the techniques that you learned. You're going to transfer them onto these flat pieces of paper that will eventually be folded and cut into a 3D shape. You will create two of them. The first one is going to be a box. We're all going to do a box together, but then you get to choose your second shape. And then on each face of the shape, you will have a different Op Art optical illusion technique. And then here are the color requirements for this project. On each face, again, you'll have a different optical illusion. You will use at least one area where there's warm colors. One of the faces will have cool colors. Another face complementary, and then black and white with Sharpie. So obviously you can do yours differently than mine. You can mix and match it differently, and you will have repeats as long as you have them somewhere. So here's my black and white. I have two areas that are complementary. This one's unfinished, but that's my repeat there, but then warm colors and then cool colors here. That's the basic intro. Now I'm going to show you how to start. So we are going to create some 3D shapes using a template. So it's the template looks like this before you cut it out. And so you cut out on all the lines, and then on the dotted lines, this is where you're going to be folding and eventually creating a 3D shape. But to start, we are going to do a little practice sketch beforehand. So in your sketchbook, you can draw just a, quick example. Doesn't have to be perfect, of how exactly you're going to, lay out your shape. On mine, I just did it's like the cross type shape, and then one of them I just wrote bottom. Since this is going to be sitting on it, we won't see the design, so we'll just leave that blank. But all my other designs you can see I have laid out. Now there's cool colors with, that weird rhythmic pattern. I have that spider web with the warm colors. This design, which is going to be in a demo, with complementary colors here. So this was kind of like my sketch that matches this. So you want to do the sketch beforehand so that you know exactly where and how you're going to lay things out. Since I have my sketch done, I can now start transferring this onto the final. Now again, your sketch doesn't have to be perfect, but you just need a good idea. When you transfer it onto the paper, you need to start with pencil. You will eventually go over it with the ultra fine tip Sharpie, and then if you have checkered areas, you can use the big Sharpie. But always start with pencil in each box. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with this one. Don't worry about cutting out your template until it is all completely finished and colored. After that, then you can cut it out. So I've done my design in pencil. Now I'm going to take my ultra fine tip Sharpie and go over all of these lines. The pencil is just to ensure that it looks nice and clean for the final. So any mistakes that you make are hopefully made in pencil, and then you can eventually erase them away. So from my initial sketch, I had this as complementary colors, so orange and blue. After I did, the Sharpie, then I apply the colored pencil. So with this one in, particular, you can see that I colored pretty heavy pressure around it, but then the areas where it's kind of bulging out, I did the gradation, and that's just another optical illusion to push the idea that this is popping out of the paper, even though it is indeed flat. So go ahead and get started with your initial sketch for the layout, and then you can use that template or print it out to put your designs on there in pencil. Then you can go over it with the ultra fine tip Sharpie and choose your color options, which ones have color, which ones are black and white.